All right, let's see. I think I'm live. I should be. All right. So, okay, welcome, my bows and bow ties. Sorry, I'm just sitting at the light here. You see where I went, Dunkin' Donuts. I had to get something this morning. I ran out of time. So before I get into it, I was going to say, this was a rough morning. I'm like, I made my coffee, but didn't put the coffee under the Keurig thing. And so it just came out on the floor. So I'm like, and then I tried to salvage some of it. It was just a mess. I'm sorry about y'all know this is tacky. So I'm going to try to prop it with my one hand. So nevertheless, it was a rough morning, all good. Trying to get myself together and lunched up. And I got a partial lunch situation. I got a bunch of fruit for snacks and no food. Anyway, stopped off at Dunkin' Donuts before I get into my spiel here. I stopped off in Dunkin' Donuts and saw the funniest thing. Apparently, there was a little girl with her grandparents, and she must have been having a rough morning too, because the grandparents didn't realize they picked her up from her parents or whatever. Cute little girl. Picked her up. I guess they were stopping off. The grandparents had the granddaughter to get her a little treat, and the little girl was in there, was missing a shoe and the whole night. I'm like, okay, I guess we're having this kind of morning. And the grandparents didn't even realize it. It was so funny. It was so cute because apparently she took her shoe off in the car. She's probably 4 or 5 years old. Adorable. The grandmom, let me tell you, the grandmom, she was just styling and profiling, honey. This woman had some cute little micro braids, and she was everything. Had her jewelry and her cute little sliders on and everything. I was like, okay, Grandma. So anyway, where am I going with this? Hey, I want to thank you for even coming in, watching this little short video. I'm the Black Opinionated woman, also known as B.O.W. Talk about 3 things: Black women, Black culture, and anything related to middle age or whatever. But today, I'm just talking about something really just off the cuff. And it is, I was sitting at the bus stop, and I was like, let me check what's going on today, because I didn't get a chance to do my normal video because I was having dysfunction. So I just set it for tomorrow. So I checked the comments. And I wish I could remember what the name was of the person. It was really quick. So basically, I should snap a picture of it so I could read the comment. But basically, this person decides to write me a comment today about, I did the video on, I think it was yesterday, with it may have been the victim or the volunteer, and that was the one I mentioned, Will and Jada and the guy out in Sally or whatever. So basically the comment was like, you must care about this guy, or something you guys can go check the comments. It was like, you must care about him and all this other stuff. And I just find it interesting when these interlopers get into your comments. Now, I don't really care if people disagree with me, but I find it funny when they try to assign what you think or what you know or what you care about. Now, to that particular person, because I have time today while I am driving, I like to take the scenic route to work. I find it interesting that he would leave that comment, like, you must care. I promise you, I really don't. The reason why I commented on those topics is because just to give you some background, I'm an engineer, and most of the people I work with are men. I have been asked by men, actually 100% black men. This is so tacky. Why am I always so tacky all the time? So I have been asked my feelings on certain things. Straight up. So what do you think about blah, blah, blah? So if people are asking and commenting on said topics, clearly this is something that people are thinking about. I just happened to make a response because I was like, well, these are my thoughts. Okay? So I want to make sure I make that clear. But what I find interesting about these interlopers is people get really bold, on a keyboard. And then they want to tell you what you think and what you care about. And most of the time, let me just be honest, if I'm being honest, a lot of the times, I try to catch the comments timely. I'm not always timely because I do have a profession. Some of the comments, if they're too negative or something like that, I get rid of them. I'm like, I don't care. It's my channel. I'm not about that life. You can come to my space, but I don't want people to be disrespectful. We can agree to disagree. We can dissent. But you don't get to assign how I feel, what I think, etc. You don't get to call into question what is in my mind or in my heart. So I just think it's interesting because people will get out here on this tacky situation. Will get out here on this app or on any other platform, and they feel really bold. For whatever reasons, they just want to tell you. They want to tell you off. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, but I don't really like to go on to people's things too much and just go off. I'm not saying I haven't in the past. I just don't think it's good. I just don't. I just feel like people need to be in their space. But what I find interesting is people will get like really, really like in their feelings about it. And I'm going to be honest, like very few of the comments really bug me. Very few. Once in a blue moon, I'm like, oh, that one kind of stung. But for the most part, some of them I just kind of get my hee-haws at because I'm like, I got to look at where this person's coming from. This person clearly has some sort of going on in their heart. Oh, this is so stupid. I'm going to tell you about one time when I was on, it was probably, my phone thing. I have got to get a new situation. This thing is like on its last leg. I believe it was Twitter. This might have been like years ago. I'm like cracking up because somebody, I don't know what it was, somebody got mad about something. I don't even remember what I responded to. But what was so funny about the response was I had responded to something and somebody decided they were going to tell me off. They went in. They were so mad and they went off on me. But the funny part about it was I didn't even get the response until I don't even know when, because I'm like feast or famine with Twitter. I believe it was Twitter. So I didn't even respond. I just was like, I didn't release, I don't even know if I ever responded actually. But when I got the response, I mean, it clearly wasn't like timely. I don't even think it was in a day or week. I don't know. But this person was so mad, and I guess some of the weirdo people that were in there were so mad. But they were mad at nothingness, right? Because I'm like, the person that they were mad at wasn't even on I wasn't even on the app. So I finally get back in and you see like people are like going off. And what was so funny about it is when people get into their feelings, they will assume a lot of stuff. So I think there was somebody who's like, yeah, you must like white men. I bet you this, that, the other white man, and you got a white boyfriend and a white so-and-so. And I'm like, I guess you told me. I mean, it was completely 100% wrong. But I didn't even feel the need to like justify anything. This is where I'm going with these interlopers. There are people who will lurk out there. They're just lurking. And they just want to be just cantankerous. I'm just kind of like, look, you got to let people be where they are. When people want to respond in a manner that is less than couth, it's like, why should I even typically respond back? But I had time today just because I'm driving. I wonder if is there traffic on that route? We'll try it today. Sorry, I'm just gonna hop on this. Yeah, I think I can hop on this road today because I don't want any drama. If there's too much, hold on, let me get my merge right here. Yeah, I'm good, all the way good. So yeah, usually I don't respond to like a bunch of shenanigans. People, I've had to learn when I first started getting on Twitter, whatever. I'm like, don't even, like, I'm telling you, what's so funny is I can go probably like get on Twitter right now, make a comment on something. It could be good, bad, different, whatever. The funny thing is, people, if they're paying attention, because I don't have a big presence anywhere, they're gonna get mad and want to respond back. The funny thing is, I don't know when I'm gonna get on again. It might be weeks, it might be a day. You know, I'm just like, when the mood hits me, because the mood doesn't always hit me. The point I'm getting at is you got these people out here who are like lurking in the background. They're like, want to like jump in on conversations just to be heard, but more so in a really kind of disrespectful manner. And I kind of feel like, you know, when it's my channel, my thing is with people is like, you can go ahead and just dissent. That's what you want, but don't be disrespectful. See, because then I'm like, I'll just like block you and just get rid of your comment. I don't really care. I just don't, because it's my channel. And I feel like for people who get like that, I really feel like they need to create a presence. And see, most of them are scared. They won't really go out there and create their own channel. They won't go stand in their own truth, right? Because that requires you to be courage, that requires you to have conviction, that requires a lot of things. Most of these people hide behind their avatars. They don't want to be seen. So I'm just kind of like, you can go ahead and miss me. I'm like, this is the thing. What little I do on this app, because I have very little time, right? Like I can't hold like 2 and 3 hour sessions or whatever, but I can give you like 15, 20, 30 minutes, here and there. I feel like I show up. This is how I show up. And I show up in a very raw kind of way. Most of the time I don't have any filters or anything on, except for like sometimes like if you're like on IG or something and I forget that a filter's on, but I'm like, this looks nice. I don't even know how to work half this stuff, But I feel like I show up and I just speak. And it's like this is what it is. I don't hide. I'm not cowardly. I don't hide behind the keyboards, right? A lot of these people just, it's nonsensical. Everyone wants to be bold, but it's easy to be bold when you don't have to be accountable, when you don't have to be seen, where people can't reach out to you. So that's what I think. When I first started using like social media, a little bit of habit, it actually started with me wanting to have a podcast because I didn't want to be visible. I'm like, everyone who's on those apps are all made up, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, who wants to do that? And then I recognized you don't have to do that. Go ahead, you start where you are, and that's what it is. Anyway, so to all the weirdo interlopers out there who want to like get off, I mean, you need to think about where you are in your life. And I don't understand why people want to tell people about who they are, what is in their mind and what's in their heart. Like, you think this and you must that and you must. I'm like, I really didn't care. I stand by what I said. I don't care about all these subjects that's out there right now. The ones that I was mentioning yesterday. They happen to be topics of conversation at my job for several days from different people in the chat. So I made a video about it. Let me tell you what I want to talk about. The topic I was going to do today until I was having a morning meltdown. Hold on, let me get behind this car. Okay, I wanted to talk about why black people need to be traveling with their kids. I want to talk about the gardening stuff. I think I alluded to that yesterday. I need to do some more stuff. I want to talk about, some arts and crafts and stuff. Like I started watching arts and crafts stuff. Not arts and crafts per se, but like people who are very creative. Stuff I want to do in my outside space. I want to talk about generational wealth. I want to talk about STEM fields and why, black people are not going into STEM and it's actually going backwards, and why women are leaving STEM. I want to talk about other things and things that could possibly be solutions, bring solutions, whatever. What I don't want to talk about, and I stand by what I said, is most of the stuff that's in the news. On occasion, yes, I might mention something, but just because I bring up something doesn't really mean I care a whole lot about it. If you don't know the backstory and you don't understand why I'm talking about it. I'm trying to figure out what my exit is, because I don't typically take this route. I typically take back roads to my employment. And hold on, let me get my mind right. I'm taking the major route today because there's not a lot of traffic. So, hallelujah. So anyway, that's it. To the weirdo interlopers out there, I suggest you grow a pair and go get yourself a channel, and then you can be as opinionated. We need more opinions out there. Go on and get one. It doesn't mean I'm going to agree, but then you could be just as cantankerous and disrespectful and everything else that you want on your channel. Go ahead and get one. It's a lot easier to hide. It's a lot easier to hide in the background, hide behind your keyboard. See, I'm not hiding. Now, there are people who just don't deserve my cycles. But for the person who left the comment today about how I must really care about the topics and all that stuff like that, I'm like, you don't even know the backstory and why I had brought that up. But all right, so that's pretty much it. Stop being weird, everyone. Stop being weird. It's just weird. It's just all the way weird. All right, so that's it. I don't really have much else to say. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and end this and enjoy the rest of my drive. I've got my Dunkin' Donuts situation. I got my coffee that I want to enjoy. And for those of you who, for those of you who are new to my channel, this is just how I am. I'm all the way just like this. It's a regular old regular, okay? I know my head is cut off because I got a bootleg camera holder, phone holder situation that I need to do better. I need to do better, okay? But this is how I am. I'm a regular old regular middle-aged woman. I'm 45 with 4 kids and a husband and a diva cat. This is how it is. Like, it just is what it is. You're not going to see me get out here in these streets doing my eyebrows all the time and eyelashes. Maybe I will one day. But generally speaking, when the way I choose to show up is I show up as this is how I choose to show up. Regular. Just a regular old regular person. I'm not painting the line down my nose to give the illusion of contouring and stuff like that. I'm not. All right? I have good skin. Why can't I just show my regular old regular good skin? All right, I'm going to get off this exit soon anyway. That's just where I'm at with it. But also, hey, look, if you like what I had to say, even if you didn't like what I had to say, just go ahead and subscribe. Just subscribe. Just go ahead, give me the thumbs up. Okay? Because I'm amazing. I am entertaining to my own self. If you just want to see me entertain myself, go ahead and give me the thumbs up. But go ahead and subscribe. Send it to some people. Share it. Watch all my videos. Every single one of them. All of them. Because they're all amazing. All right. Getting off on this exit. I'm going to start making my way to work. I like taking this scenic route through this particular community. That's pretty much it. All right. Look, everybody go ahead, mind your business today. Mind the business that pays you.